Hey, what is up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. And today we're going to go ahead and talk about the 49ers and this upcoming Super Bowl match against the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's go ahead and get into it. The San Francisco 49ers are back in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, the team that they lost to back in February of 2020 of the 2019 season. And what a gut wrenching fourth quarter game that was. Looking back at that matchup, man, it's been 4 years now, and it doesn't really hurt anymore. But when you go back and watch highlights, it starts to come back. So I try to avoid that the best I can. But the 49ers now have an opportunity to go ahead and get their revenge against the same team that gave them their L the last go round. So let's go ahead and get into that a little bit. And let's go ahead and start off by talking about Patrick Mahomes. So now that we are in the second week leading up to this matchup, Patrick Mahomes has been one of the biggest headlines other than Brock Purdy, and righteously so. He is a two-time Super Bowl champion. This is his fourth time going to the Super Bowl. Won two, lost one, and we'll await to see what the results will be after this Sunday night. We all know how great Patrick Mahomes is. Can't take anything away from him. Um, but leading up to this match, a lot of the conversations are pretty much being had is what would this game mean for Patrick Mahomes? A lot of people are trying to put him into that GOAT conversation. I personally think that's premature. I know the media likes to get ahead of themselves and create hot takes because that's what creates clicks at the end of the day. But yes, he is on the right trajectory as possibly being considered the GOAT or one of the GOATs. It seems like we have several GOATs for every sports these days. But the comparison is between him and Tom Brady. Tom Brady has 7. Mahomes has 2. So, and I hope Mahomes stays at 2 after Sunday night. So I think I just don't know how you can start talking about him being the greatest of all time when he's not even close to Brady yet. So, anyways, let's move past that. So the Kansas City Chiefs as a whole, I want to say a majority of those players have the experience of playing in a Super Bowl. A lot of them were in that winning Super Bowl team last season. So I do believe that plays a factor that has an advantage because your guys are like, hey, I've been here before. I know what this moment feels like. I know what the stage is like because I've been there, right? Even though it's been a year, they've been there. Switching over to the San Francisco 49ers, I believe 12, I might be wrong, but I believe 12 people on the active roster have been in the Super Bowl before. And I want to say it's about 8 or 9 of the players were part of the San Francisco 49ers team that lost against the Kansas City Chiefs last time. So, and a lot of those players are big pillar stone players that play a huge part in this San Francisco 49er team being so victorious. So I think that's also an advantage to the San Francisco 49er team. Bosa's been there. Fred Warner's been there. Debo's been there. Armstead's been there. Kittle has been there. And I know I'm missing a couple more. But you get the idea. Like, these are guys that are starters. They're going to play the majority of the game. So the moment should not be too big for them. And I don't expect it to be. These guys have played in big games several times. So moving on. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Kansas City's offense, then their defense, and then I'll switch over to the 49ers offense and then defense and kind of just give a quick summary over what I think and what to expect in the Super Bowl and just kind of give them like a slight comparison and so forth. So let's go ahead and just start off with the Kansas City's offense. We know what Patrick Mahomes is all about. We know what Travis Kelce is all about. And we've seen this season what Isaiah Pacheco is all about. The way I look at it, it's really the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce show. And Isaiah Pacheco's definitely been playing his part. But other than that, it's Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, I feel like everyone else is kind of just a decoy. We all know when Patrick Mahomes needs that clutch play. Patrick Mahomes needs that, needs to convert that third down into a first down and just extend the drive and keep it alive. We know probably 9 out of 10 times it's going to Kelce. So, yeah, we can stand here and say all day, we'll just figure it out. Figure out Kelce. It's not that easy. There's a reason why he's arguably the greatest tight end in the league. But what I've come to hear and learn is that one of the reasons why it's not just the chemistry that he has with Mahomes, it's apparently Kelce he's always going, I don't know about always, but he goes off script, right? Whatever route he's supposed to run, whatever he's supposed to do, if the play's not there, he'll just find a way. He'll go off script. And obviously if you go off script, I presume that's going to confuse the defense that you're going up against. And they're like, just when you think Kelce was going this way, he's going that way, or you know what I mean? So I think the 49ers just kind of, it's easier said than done, but when it's probably like a 3rd and 10, a 3rd and 15, he's probably going to look for Kelce. So I think if you can get yourself a pretty good grip on him and do the best you can at covering him in those situations, it probably could go the Niners' way, and I think it could. And then for Isaiah Pacheco, hey, the 49ers have been having problems against the run, and so I expect to see a lot of Isaiah Pacheco. At least I see Andy Reid try to step on that gas pedal with him, and if it seems successful, I expect more of it, but I really hope the 49ers have that figured out come game time. So that's the way I look at it for the Kansas City's offense. We know that they've been having problems with their receivers. But at the end of the day, it kind of doesn't really matter. Like Tyreek Hill or no Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, and he's always going to be coming through because the quarterback is just that. The quarterback makes all the difference, right? If you have an elite quarterback, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. Now switching over to the Kansas City's defense. You got Jones. We know what he's all about. And it seems like Kansas City's defense is pretty much the best defense as of lately, right? Which kind of scares me. I know their offense hasn't been all that, but Patrick Mahomes is gonna find a way. So it's like you combine that with their defense playing so well. It's gonna be a good game. So I think as far as like their defense goes, from what I heard from David Lombardi, if you don't know who he is, I suggest you look up David Lombardi. He works for The Athletic, and he covers the 49ers, and he goes into all the data, all the charts and numbers. And if you really want thorough, detailed 49er information, by all means, my feelings would not be hurt. Go check him out. But I learned from him that the Kansas City's defense against the run is actually bottom barrel. I forget, it was like 20th. They were in the 20s. So in the bottom of the league, the Niners have Christian McCaffrey, pretty much the best running back in the league for this season so far. Well, the season's about to end, but so look for the Niners to exploit that against the Kansas City's defense, and if it works out, I would say expect to see Kyle Shanahan continue to push the gas pedal on Christian McCaffrey if it continues to work. So, but other than that, the Kansas City's defense has been playing very well. And you know how San Francisco's 49ers O-line has been an issue all season. So we'll just have to see what happens, and hopefully the 49ers offense figures it out. And I say hopefully because obviously I'm a 49ers fan. So now moving over to the 49ers offense. I personally feel, I'm not going to go into, we know the Kittles, the Debos, okay. I personally feel that the 49ers offense is not going to be an issue this game. I truly believe Kyle, the magician he is, I think he's ready to just unleash hell on the Kansas City Chiefs offensively, because that is his bread and butter. He is an OC, that is his roots. And for a game of this magnitude, it's all or nothing now. So I'm not worried about it. Brock Purdy, I expect him to be cool, level-headed as always. And all I got to say is this. I can probably spend a couple minutes on the 49ers offense, but despite the Kansas City's defense having a really good season so far through the playoffs and such, I think the 49ers I just think they shouldn't overthink it. Obviously, Kyle is going to script things to try to confuse them. That's all fine and dandy, but I would say don't go too far away from your roots. You know what I mean by that is this: like, I just need them to do what they've been doing all season, which is and resulted in them winning a lot of their games by 30 or more points, right? So I just need the players in that 49ers offense to just do what they do. Okay, so I need Christian McCaffrey to run his ass off. I need Debo to break tackles like he always breaks tackles. I need Brandon Ayuk to just be open for Brock Purdy as always. I need George Kittle over the middle. I just need him coming up clutch because Brock Purdy loves him as a target. I need Juwan Jennings to be Juwan in third, right? Coming in clutch in third downs if needed, if he's called upon. And I just need Brock Purdy to be the typical guy, no interceptions, cool, level-headed. And I also want to see Brock Purdy to use his feet like he did against the Lions if the play's not there. I mean, at this point, what the heck? Just go for it. If it's not there and you can run for the first down or run to get really close to the first down, take off, Purdy. Just do it. So, and then that O-line, I just need you to play out of your minds. I know you guys have had your issues. I know Trent, separate from that, Trent's holding it down on his end. But the rest of the O-line, just like play this game like your life depended on it. Really depends on it. Juice, you what can I say about Juice? Juice, I don't even need to say nothing. He's gonna be there. He's gonna be ready to do what he does, no matter what. So, anyways, switching over to the Niners defense. This is the side that I've been concerned about. As you guys know, the 49ers defense has not looked the same, especially during the playoffs. They have not been that great against the run during the playoffs, and I'd have to go back and look at some of the other games in the season, but I don't know if I'm really going to do that. But as of recent, they have not been good against the run, whereas I believe it was last season, they were fantastic against the run. It just sucks to kind of see this Niners defense struggle as of late, especially in games that are do or die, whereas we used to talk about this Niners defense like they are the identity of this team, and it feels like it's more of the offense right now, which is fine. But the thing is, this 49ers defense still has the majority of their guys that make that defense so great. Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Charvarius Ward, Bosa, Armstead. They've added Chase Young. We all know what the conversation is about him and the effort, but I know that guy can produce. And the addition of Hargrave, we've seen him have some great games too. There's a reason why the 49ers picked him up. I know we lost Hufanga, but we've been without him for a while, and we've managed to adapt. Diamonor Lenore, he's been playing very well. So what I'm trying to say is, as far as like the Greenlaws and the Freds and the Bosas and the Armsteads, like those guys are like the huge pillar stones to this team. And like, I just need them to make sure that this defense goes back to what they've been about as being one of the best defenses in the league. I just need them to do that for one stinking game. They've been great against the run before. They have the pieces to be great against the run. Whatever that was, do that. Do that. I understand Steve Wilkes, I believe, comes more from a more, he's more like well-rounded, I think, when it comes to like protecting the secondary, which is great. I do believe our secondary has elevated, and we've noticed, but I think it's kind of came with a cost against the run. So we can't have it all. But the run has been deadly, and Kansas City has Pacheco, but you also know Patrick Mahomes can throw deep, and he'll land it on the target. So it's like we just need both sides of that defense to just have it down to a T. One of the key things I wanted to hit on as well is if you think about this 49ers roster, Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams, Hargrave, right? Chase Young. Okay, just think of those 4 players for a second. None of them have ever played. Okay, no, I'm lying. Hargrave has played in a Super Bowl, but the other 3 have never played in a Super Bowl. I want you to focus on Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams for a second. Trent Williams has been in this league for so long. And one of the things that the players and the fans want more than anything is for this guy to get a Super Bowl ring, right? Over the last couple of seasons, we've been so close, and we're like, hey, we got to get Trent a ring. We got to get Trent a ring. And you know Trent wants a ring more than anything because he's gotten all the other accolades, the All-Pros, the Pro Bowls. He's going to go down as like the best in his position. You know, he just needs that Super Bowl, right? So if you think about the hunger that man is going to play, right? And then you think about Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's father is like I don't know, maybe like a 3-time Super Bowl champion. I don't know. His dad's won a couple Super Bowls, one of which was with the 49ers. And you think about how hungry and how devastated he was, how last year ended. And just after being with the Carolina Panthers and just, you know, now he has this opportunity to compete for the ultimate prize. I think these 2 guys are going to be huge difference makers. And then you combine that with the Kansas City's defense not being great against the run. What have we seen with the 49ers being so terrific at? When Christian McCaffrey runs, and especially when it's behind Trent Williams on that side, it works all the time. If Trent just goes out there bulldozing these guys and Christian McCaffrey runs it up that side and we can get, you know, Kittle and some of the other guys getting some blocks, I can just see Trent creating a gaping hole and Christian McCaffrey just piercing right through it and just breaking a tackle. We need to see a lot of that because I think they're going to be so hungry, and I hope Kyle just lets them have it, gives them the ball, let them have it time and time again if it works, right? And then if you look over at Chase Young is playing for money. He's playing for a contract, right? And if you think about all this conversation, you know, hey, you didn't give it effort last game against the Lions. Like, if I were him, I'd be like, man, these guys think I just don't give a shit, right? At least personally, that's how I would feel. I'm like, well, I'm going to go out there and prove them wrong. All right, you want to see me give a shit? Well, okay, let's go. I'm going to show you guys. So that narrative better change after you see what I do in the Super Bowl. And I hope to Chase Young, prove it. Go out there, be like, hey, like I want you to look at that. I want you to say in a press conference at the end of the game, does it look like I care now? Holding that Lombardi trophy, right? So I expect Chase Young to also have this like crazy breakout game. I mean, you came from the Commanders. They have not been in competition for a Super Bowl. And then here you are with one of your really good friends, Nick Bosa, a chance to win a Super Bowl trophy alongside with him, right? And then Hargrave. I know he seems like a quiet dude. That man was in the Super Bowl last year. And now he came to the San Francisco 49ers, which he knew was a team that was that's ready to win now. But you're here again. And you just don't know how often these opportunities are going to come up. And it's like, you don't want to screw that up. So Hargrave, the reason why they picked you up is to get after that quarterback, right? Now's the time to get your revenge on Patrick Mahomes. Do it, right? So it's like when I think of those 4 guys in particular, especially Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams, I think this is a good chance. Like this is going to be good for them. And I think you're going to see them elevate their game. I just hope they do. I may be wrong. I don't expect to be wrong. I just think you're going to see another level to them. And it's going to be awesome. And I think it's going to be a huge reason why this 49ers can secure the win. Overall, this 49ers offense is better than Kansas City. Kansas City, it's the reason why they are who they are, and you can't underestimate them, is because of Patrick Mahomes. Patrick freaking Mahomes. Give him credit. After having all those receiver issues, he's back in the Super Bowl. And Travis Kelce and Isaiah Pacheco, like those guys, when you line up these offenses player by player, on paper, it's like the Niners offense is just better. And like I said a little earlier in this video, if this Niners offense just do what y'all do in your best games, when you each have the opportunity to get the ball, whether it's only a couple times or a lot of times, I don't know how Kyle's going to feed y'all. We'll just have to wait and find out. But when you get the ball, Debo, when you get the ball, what are you good at? Yak. Break those tackles. Go hard. I know it's easier said than done. I'm going to stop saying that, but just everything. This is it. This is the last game for the ultimate prize. Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in the league. Him as well, being able to break through tackles, hurdle over players. He's super fast. Give it everything. Brandon Ayuk, what do you do best? You're great at being open for Purdy, right? Those routes that Kyle schemes up, you're terrific at following them down to the T. Just everything that from George Kittle, Juszczyk, Trent Williams, just Brock Purdy, everything that you guys have done in your best games, do that now. Do that now. And I promise you, this Niners offense is going to put up a lot of points. Niners defense, Fred Warner, what are you a beast at? My God, man, you're good at breaking up plays. You're good at tackling the running back. You're good at like reading the quarterback's eyes. Like everything that you do best on your greatest of games, bring that in now. And Greenlaw, the aggression, bring it. Let's try not to get flagged now, because I'm still a little traumatized after the last time these teams met in the Super Bowl. But bring that aggression, right? This Niners defense was always talked about as being so aggressive. So when we go from being like the team that punches you in the mouth to going from the team that like can't really stop the run, it feels like almost like a 180. This is the time to punch them in the mouth, because honestly, that Kansas City's team is probably thinking, these guys, that defense doesn't look exactly the same, especially against the run. So you need to go out there early and just punch them in the mouth, and they're going to probably be like, oh, snap, they're back. And I want them to have that moment when they're probably sitting at halftime and we're up and they can't do much. I want them to have that moment. I hope it happens. And they're like, this Niners defense is back. And they're back in full throttle. Oh, my God. They can do it. They have the players. Steve Wilkes, do what you do best, but also let these guys go out and do what they do best. If they have to, if they have to maybe kind of go by instinct to stop a play from happening, I mean, go for it. Just do it. I know those players are intelligent. And for Jake Moody, we shouldn't have to rely on Jake Moody to win this game for the San Francisco 49ers. But if it comes down to it, he has my faith. I'm going to say a prayer for Jake Moody, because let's not forget that man, he's actually really good. So enough with people shouldn't talk bad about Jake Moody. He actually broke an NFL record ever since the NFL moved the the goal kick to the 15-yard line in 2015. He broke the record for the most consecutive kicks in a season without missing. So yeah, it's a big game. He's a rookie. And as much as I want to say give him some slack, well, it's the Super Bowl. There's no slack given now. It's all or nothing. So I know he'll show up. But we shouldn't have to rely on having him kick long field goals. Even though we know he can do it, it may feel like a lot of pressure, and I hope it doesn't. I hope he's like, hey, we're here. I just got to tune out the noise. If he just tunes out the noise, he'll be fine. Brock Purdy, we've talked enough about him. It seems like a lot of the media is starting to love him now. We'll make a separate video about him. And to be honest, like, I don't need Brock Purdy to feel like, oh, I need to be better than Patrick Mahomes. I just need Brock Purdy to do what Brock Purdy has done all season and not turn the ball over, and this team can win so long as the Niners defense steps it up. If the 49ers defense steps it up and the Niners offense keeps producing like they've been producing, and Brock Purdy doesn't have a bad turnover game, the Niners can win this game. They can. I promise you. Patrick Mahomes, we don't need Brock Purdy to try to necessarily outplay Patrick Mahomes. Brock Purdy is Brock Purdy. When I say he doesn't need to outplay Patrick Mahomes, Brock Purdy just needs to play the way he's been playing, and the points will show up. the plays that Kyle's is going to scheme up. Brock Purdy is really knowledgeable at finding the plays, finding the players in a timely manner. He's got it down. Patrick Mahomes is going to do Patrick Mahomes things, and that's up to our defense to figure that out. But when Brock Purdy goes out there, dude, and if the play's not there, use your feet, man. Use your feet. Anyways, guys, I'll make another video before the big game. I just kind of wanted to go through the Kansas City's offense, defense, Niners offense and defense, and kind of just give like an overview how I feel like this is going to kind of like comparing one another a little bit. And, the Niners defense kind of situation, and then the 49ers offense, how I think they'll be fine. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think, how these two teams line up, and who you think is going to win. In the later video, I'll probably give my score prediction. Spoiler alert, I'm going to pick the Niners to win either way. And I think this Niners team is it's their turn. They're hungry. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one.